How we doing, guys and gals? I'm coming at you with another wallet review video today. This one I'm really excited about. It is a 2-year, really 2.5-year update on a lot of my Trayvax wallets. So let's get right into it. I started this channel reviewing these two wallets over 2 years ago. This is a Canyon Red Trayvax Contour, and this is a Tobacco Brown Trayvax Ascent. Now, when I made that video, I did not expect so many people to be interested in these products, and so I really felt like after a couple years of carrying it, a couple years of wear and tear, I could show you more about these wallets. And not just these two, but this one, which was featured in another video that has gotten lots and lots of views, part of the 5 wallets I had at the time, and these two. And these two were a little newer, I believe. I think I've done videos on these, but they were not part of my 5 wallet review at the time. But these are the 5 I've got now. So I'll talk to you a little bit about why these are the 5 I have, why these 2 have come in and 2 others have gone out. But mostly I just want to show the wear and tear and what my feelings are about these things after 2 years. So, wow, that was like a weird little double intro. I apologize for that. Anyway, straight to business. I just want to show you the leather and hardware on this wallet 2 years later. I know I do have several wallets, so it's not like I carry one every day for 2 years, but they all get regular use. They've all been abused for 2 years or longer. You can see the stitching. All the edges of these strips of leather have just held up wonderfully. I don't notice anything on any of these wallets that comes close to a functional issue. I purchase leather goods because I like them to look like that. That looks beautiful to me. You have some scrapes and scratches, some patina, and I love it, and I love it, love it, love it. And I think this looks wonderful. Again, for an in-depth review on how to use this wallet, you can check out my channel for those videos. If I was a real YouTuber, I'd say I'd link it below, but I don't know how to do that, so I'm not gonna. But you can find those. This is the second wallet from that first video, Trayvax Ascent. Now, this one has probably been beaten up the most because this is my go-to motorcycle wallet. So whenever I am motorcycling, this one gets thrown in the pocket or thrown in the backpack or saddlebag or whatever. So it takes a little more abuse. Again, love the way this leather has aged. There are no tears, frays, rips. This little scratch, crease, whatever has been here since I bought this new. I think it's a great little feature. I will say, and again, because this gets a lot of sweat and rain and humidity that the others do not, every now and then I do get a little bit of oxidation around these rivets. And usually I just hit it with a screwdriver. Not a screwdriver, even slightly. A toothbrush. I've got some cheapo toothbrushes that I use to clean up things, and I just hit it with a little toothbrush, and they'll scrape right off, but I just noticed it, so I thought I would tell you. But again, the stitching on these things, I mean, exactly the same as the day I received them. I'm super impressed by the quality of assembly and the fit and finish on these. You notice even, around the corners, places here where you might expect there to be weakness, I haven't seen a single thing. This strap and this whole mechanism still works great. If you aren't familiar with it, you can check out my other video on this, but essentially you can stick a few cards back there, pop them out. And that still works great. So really, really, really wonderful condition. I think the next oldest that I have is this black Element. And like I alluded to earlier, I'm not sure how I necessarily feel about this one, other than I like it and it's a good wallet. Basically, because I have so many wallets, this gets a little bit overshadowed. If I want something elegant and maybe even pretty, I have the contours. If I want something more, to knock around and throw in, a saddlebag or cargo shorts when I'm out doing whatever, I might go with the Ascent or maybe something like this. So this one doesn't really have a home. However, it has held up beautifully. It gets used the same as all the others. I just don't have as much of a dedicated purpose for it. It sort of gets used when I feel like grabbing it. But look at the quality of this leather. Over 2 years later, the stiffness, the thickness, the snap of this leather is just astounding. The paracord binding is in perfect shape. Leather, as with all of these, perfect shape. I use this bottle opener fairly regularly. Perfect shape. The closure on this and on the other contours that I have, perfect shape. No issues at all. I was a little concerned about how these little latch studs would hold up, but man, pretty solid. Pretty solid. I do like this for if I have a couple of more bills or I feel like I need to keep my cash a little more discreet, then this little bit of a cover is nice. But anyway, and I'll give you some more thoughts on that in a second. Then I have black contour. This one is also about 2 years old. You know, same shtick as the first contour, except it's all black. I will say that, you know, ionized or whatever sort of finish frame that they have on this middle metal piece is really held up nicely. Not an issue on any of it. Again, screws are great. On none of these wallets do I do anything to them. I don't Loctite the screws. I don't, you know, do anything. This is just as shipped. And you can see again, this is the one I was actually carrying today. So I've got a little bit of flour from sitting it on the countertop. But very good, solid hunk of leather and steel. Perfect stitching. You know, latch mechanism, a little dusty, but everything is in great condition. And this is, we're talking 2 years. And, you know, now this one you might not expect to take a lot of wear because it is mostly metal with the paracord binding. But as with the rest of them, they hold up great. I have had this knot come out just once, and I just pulled it back and tightened it up with a pair of pliers. I could melt that together or put a bead on it or something if I wanted to, but I just haven't. Otherwise, the paracord on this has been great. I don't think this one is quite 2 years old because I got this on Kickstarter when they relaunched. This is the OG 2.0. And that's, I'm thinking, is more like a year to year and a half old. But great little wallet. I've got a video on this one as well. Excellent bottle opener. Really just slim and still rugged at the same time, which is nice. And yeah, really like it. So you can see what the condition of these wallets are a couple years later. I'm really impressed. You know, I've talked about Trayvax's warranty and how, you know, I've never had to use it. I don't know how good it is. Anecdotally, I know that it's supposed to be pretty solid, but in my experience, I've never had to use them because these products are as functional and mostly as attractive to me as the day I got them. As a quick aside, like I've said, this one doesn't have as much of a purpose. It's a bit of a misfit toy with me. That said, the flip side of that is if I only had to buy one, this would be a pretty strong contender because it is rugged and tough, but it is still fairly classy and elegant. And I think it probably, for the price point, this is about the medium price range, $60-ish if I remember correctly. This is the one I might go for if I only had one. It works great, very convenient. I think I would rate ease of use across all these wallets at about exactly the same. They're all wonderful. I don't think any of them are more difficult to use than the other. And I have had some people talk to me about, well, I don't like having my cash just hanging out. So then this might make you feel better having your cash covered up. Excellent wallet. Probably not my favorite because I have other options, but if I had to get one, it would be a serious consideration. Next is probably this one. You know what? Probably this one. I'm ranking in kind of order from least carried and least recommended, maybe to highest for me and my needs. You know, your needs might lead to a different recommendation. This is a great wallet. This is a very thin wallet. It slips into your pocket nicely, but also has a little bit of weight so you can tell your wallet's in there. And it's not going to fall out. I just don't know. Again, I think it's similar to the Element. If I didn't have the contours, or I didn't have this, this would be a really strong contender for the price. This is sub 60, I want to say $50-ish when last I checked. And I may be 10 or 20 bucks off on these, but that should be the range. And it's a great wallet for that price. I think it's a pretty easy wallet to transition to from a traditional leather bifold because it is sandwiched in a nice piece of leather, or rather nice pieces of leather. It's not crazy looking. It's got a fairly straightforward silhouette and profile. And it is pretty easy to use. I think the tab is a really cool feature. I personally just don't use it as much because, again, I sort of spoiled myself. If I want something elegant, I go with this. If I want something rugged, I kind of go with this. Like I said, this one has been relegated to motorcycle duty, which I think is a great purpose for it, but it does probably accelerate the wear and tear on it. Next, I would recommend this one. If you do not need or care for leather in the wallet, this one works really, really nicely. I think it's got my favorite latch. It's such a simple latch. Actually, I'm going to show you right now because I like it that much. It's a really simple latch, but it works just really, really well. And I'm constantly playing with it. So it's just this little barrel that snaps over there. But the fascinating thing with this for me is it doesn't come off just by friction and contact. And I have a whole video about this. But you need to give it a deliberate push and then it just snaps right off. Anyway, I love it. I think it's pretty great. The bottle opener is one of the most convenient out of all of these, I think. The money clip is nice and simple to use. It's just really practical, really functional. And if the looks don't put you off, which they don't me, I love the looks. Hey, there's my address. Don't steal my identity. If the looks don't put you off, and they shouldn't, and they come in different colors, you can get more low-key colors. This is a good one, and it's one of the cheapest wallets they make, $30 or less, I think. Then I tend to go to these two more often than not, and that's just the reality. These are the most expensive. People ask me all the time what I would recommend, and if you can afford it, and I know this is a ridiculous thing to say because people told it to me and I thought they were being silly, if you can afford it, go with the Contour. Last I checked, these were $140. They're probably more than that now. I suspect that these wallets will last me probably the rest of my life, especially with two of them. And they are eye-catching. They are well-built. They are, innovative in their design, but nothing crazy. They are really just great products. I'm just going to load it up how I have it every day. It's just a nice package. It's a nice, neat package. It looks nice. It will hold up to abuse. And I really cannot recommend the Contour highly enough. That said, there's nothing wrong with these other wallets. I think Trayvax puts out nothing but good options. My experience, I've not had one failure. I have not had one complaint. I have not had one usability issue. I've not had any problems at all with these wallets. Highly, highly recommend them. I know I've been rambling a little bit, but I wanted to touch base on all of these wallets and really kind of think about what I felt about them as I was saying it instead of having a script or anything. Because sometimes my feelings change about these wallets. They have a bit of an insidious nature where you look at them and I don't really care for this one today. I'm not in the mood. It just doesn't look it, feel good, whatever. And then you stick your cards or cash in there and you go on. And whichever one I pick up that day, that's my favorite one that day. So ask me any questions if you've got them. Check out my other videos if you want to see more about some of these wallets. Cliff Notes version. Excellent, excellent products. I am not affiliated with Trayvax in any way. I don't get paid. I don't get a darn thing. I just love these products, and I like to provide information to some of you out there who might be curious. Thanks again for the time. Ask any questions, and I'll try to answer them, and I hope you guys have a great one.